I'm Brian Lowe, and you're in my studio here at Guitar Alley, well, affectionately called Guitar Alley. And today I'm talking about my Evans rig. Scott Buffington and the guys there were nice enough to put me on the artist list, so I figured I'd be nice enough to do a video for them. And there's a lot of videos out there, jazz players and steel players. And I thought I would use a couple different guitars in my arsenal here, what I would take to a session or a gig, just to show you a little bit of what the rig does for me and how I like to use it. The first piece is the Evans HVP preamp, which the first one I was told by the folks at Evans was made for the late great John Huey, who played steel for Conway and was with Vince Gill, another EMG endorser, before he passed away. And I actually have unit number 2 right here in my rack. The middle unit's actually a chord tuner that's bypassed because I've got one on my pedal board, and then below I'm running through a Nady XA900 stereo power amp going into 2 Evans cabinets. Both of them have 15-inch JBL 130s in them. So the pedal board's not set up in stereo, but the preamp to the power amp to the speakers are. Even if it were, you wouldn't be able to hear it panning back and forth and all the cute little tricks that stereo will do with the Nikon that Ashton Kutcher told me to buy, because I do everything Ashton Kutcher tells me to do on television commercials. But anyway, I thought I would run you through some of the paces. The pedal setup I'm using is just fairly simple. It's a Buddy Guy wah into a Keeley compressor, Digitech Harmony Man harmonizer into the Blackstar H2 Dual, which is one of the best distortion, overdrive, volume boost pedals on the market. If you get a chance to check it out, I recommend you do. Going into the Line 6 MM4, which is Keeley modded, as well as the Line 6 DL4, which is Keeley modded into a Boss FV50 stereo volume pedal. So when I do run true stereo with it, I can do that with the volume pedal. And the pedal board and the case were all built for me by Jason Keeley. The guys at Keeley are great. Do some of the best effects and effects mods in the world. A little bit about the preamp. Let's talk about the controls on it. You've got your standard 2 inputs, your volume, treble, and expand, which works with the treble control, body and depth, which kind of work with your mid-range and your low bass frequencies, a bass, your right and your left out, a mute switch, which is really neat if you're on stage and you want to kill the preamp so that there's no sound. Of course, your headphone jack level and your headphone jack out. And then in the back you've got your outs for everything to go stereo and all that. I'm hardwired in, and I'd turn around and show it to you, but it's a complete disaster area back there. So I actually have it hardwired so that I can plug the rack in. The power amp is wired to jacks on the rack and going into the Evans speakers from there. The first guitar I'm going to be doing is my it's 2006 Valley Arch Telly, and this is one of the typical guitars that I would take on a session. I'm going to pull that down just a little bit and kill that distortion pedal. And I've got it set up with EMGs. That's the EMG Telly in the neck and the rear, and then the EMG SA in the middle. And I've got the standard 3-way switch with a volume that controls these two, a tone control, and then a rear control that rolls my middle pickup in and out, just like the Britt Mason mod from Nashville does. So right now this is just the guitar going through a compressor and just a hair bit of slap back echo on it. Something like I'd use for a typical country setup, and this is with the rear pickup only right now. Real good country sound, real good commercial country sound if you're trying to cop kind of that Jerry Reed, Brent Mason-ish, Reggie Young sort of thing. And also if you're a Strat guy, I'm going to roll in that Strat pickup here for you real quick. can get, with the Roland, you can get in between the tones. But the thing I like about the Evans is that it's clean. It's probably one of the cleanest amps I've ever used. And I like letting my pickups and my effects, I'm a product of the late 70s, early 80s as far as my guitar playing goes. I like fairy dust on my guitar, which is what I call, my effects and stuff. And I really like to sculpt my tone from here and here. And I want the amp to put out exactly what I'm sending to it. And maybe just using a little bit of EQ on the amp to blend it out a little bit. And the Evans does that so nice. But let's take a listen to some more of the telly tones. Let's put a little chorus on that. So if you want kind of a Christopher Cross sort of. Real nice chorus sound, and once again the Evans does a really great job of cleaning everything up. Or if you're like me and start playing guitar because of Waylon Jennings, it's real great for that phase shifter sort of thing as well. And of course, if you're more inclined to do the jazzy thing, this is all the way in the neck pickup setup. I'm going to kill that phase shifter, so you can get that. But the amp also distorts really nice when I hit it with Black Star pedal. I've got this set up as kind of for a medium crunch. I'm going to pull that up just a little bit so I don't actually have to crank the amp as much. Looking for your honky-tonk kind of, distorted sounds. And it actually distorts nicely. It doesn't keep it too clean. Which was one of my fears with the 15, especially being 130 waters, that it just wouldn't break up the way I wanted it to. But I can get, even if I go into heavy overdrive Steve Lukather land. Okay, you just saw my Valley Arch Telly, and the next guitar I'm going to pick up is going to be one that is recent in my gas phase, guitar acquisition syndrome, and I also have to show off the Brian Lowe signature Pickworld picks there, blue marble with my signature and gold lettering. It's kind of neat, kind of vain, kind of pretentious, but hey, we're guitar players, aren't we? Standard 2-Schecter Super Rock pickups with a 3-way switch and a coil tap. So let's take a listen to what the amp sounds like through some buckers. And right now we're running clean once again with just a little bit of delay on it. And this is the rear humbucking pickup. Flip to the neck position. Once again we go into our jazz land. Or put a little bit of hair on that again with the Black Star pedal. And kind of in Larry Carlton land. Let's put a little bit more hair on it, and we're going to put it in the rear position for that. Now we're going to take that off and we're going to split the pickup so that it's just clean in single coil mode. So great once again for, you know, really good Telecaster sounds. I mean, I couldn't be happier with this, with the preamp, because like I say, I want, unlike other guitar players, because I'm really strange, I don't want the amp to distort. I want the Blackstar to do it, since it has the tube in it and they're actually hitting the tube with a lot of voltage, so that it basically acts as a separate outboard preamp. I like letting the Blackstar do that, and I think that Lauren Molinaire and all the guys at Blackstar do just a super fine job with that pedal. Let's go in and use the Digitech a little bit, just to show you a little bit of what, you know, the harmonies will sound like. This is in the key of G, so if you want sort of like that Allman Brothers thing, we're going to push the cold tap back in to give you that again. Or I can go to the actual 3-part harmony I've got set up in an A chord for the Brian May sort of stuff. Or if I want to take the distortion off and do something really silly, like play some Western Swing sort of thing, like Milk Cow Blues. And that is the Schecter, and this once again is the PT series, and it's a guitar that I've wanted probably since I was 14 years old, and actually saw Pete Townsend play them on that first final tour that the Who did. And then we're going to be doing 2 more guitars before the video's over. I'll be bringing up my Music Man Steve Lukather signature model Ball Family Reserve with the rosewood neck and the EMGs. I'm going to be using the Ball Family Reserve Luke model Steve Lukather signature Music Man guitar with the rosewood neck. This guitar has done a ton of my session work and a ton of my live gigs, and I honestly could not be happier with it. Probably one of my most favorite guitars in my collection, but it has the EMG SLV 20 set, which is the Steve Lukather signature setup. Basically it's an 85, an SA and an SA that are all wound to Steve's specs. So let's take a listen to this guitar, and once again we'll run just hear a bit of slapback delay and the Keeley compressor. And you know, if you want to hit the switch and throw the chorus back on again, like the Valley Arch tell you, it's really nice for that. Put a little more delay on there. It's really nice for that LA kind of really clean. Volume swells. Mode. Actually, we're going to put a lot of hair on it. I'll take the chorus first off, we're going to drop the distortion back down to more of an overdrive so we can go to the neck pickup. As you can see, no matter what tones I'm throwing at it, the Evans preamp is handling it nicely, translating exactly what I want it to sound like with very little tweaking once I've got everything set up and set up on the preamp. Very little tweaking. The speaker cabinets sound great, and you know, for 15s, like I said, I thought they would be too clean, but as you can hear, no such luck. They'll distort with the best of them, and I'm only running the power amp at, wow, maybe about 8 o'clock on both channels. So we're not throwing a lot of volume to them yet, kind of keeping it low key for, you know, demo purposes here. But, and if you ever get a chance to play one of the Lowe models, just a lot of fun to play, a great guitar, locking tuning keys, great Music Man tremolo non-locking trim system because of the tuning keys. The rosewood neck just feels like a dream on here. Just a brilliant guitar, and I'm really glad that I got one of the ones with the rosewood neck, because I know now Music Man's issuing one with, I think, the Marzios, not the EMGs, but with the rosewood neck. So I have one of the ones. I think Steve has been playing sort of a gold top one with the EMGs and the rosewood neck. So once again, just a lot of fun to play. Let's see that loop. Really sweet guitar to play. Once again, the Evans handles it really nicely, handles the Black Star really well, handles all the effects really well. And the last guitar I'm going to be talking about is actually my signature model guitar, the 650BL from Michael Dulce, and it's going to be a little bit different in the fact that it's semi-hollow with P90s and a modified version of the Nashville Brent Mason sort of switching system that we looked at on my Valley Arch Telly earlier. So we'll be right back with that. So enjoy it, and we'll be back in a sec after this commercial break. And we're back with the final guitar. This is the Michael Dulce 650BL. It's my signature model. 3 P90s. Hardtail bridge, semi-hollow, mahogany body, maple top. There's another video that describes the guitar more in depth, but volume, and tone control on a 3-way switch. So once again, like the Valley Arch Telly, I can, you know, get my standard 3-way switch, plus I can roll in my middle pickup no matter where I am on the switch for strat tones. And I wanted to show, you know, a variety of pickups going through the Evans, just so that you could see, you know, like I said, the Evans is known as a jazz amp and a steel amp. I think the first person I ever saw using an Evans was a steel player named Brian Adams, who was a really good friend of my father over at Lowe. And Brian adored his Evans. So enough of my yakking. Let's get to see what the P90s sound like. This guitar is going to be a hair bit noisier because it is P90s, but when I roll in the center pickup, you'll notice that it actually cancels out the noise. But this is the rear pickup with a little bit of the compressor and a little bit of delay once again for that, you know, Telly on steroids thing. The center pickup, so we've got these two together. And of course, all three on now. Rolling out the middle pickup for just the rear and the neck. And then of course just the neck pickup. once again with a little bit of hair. I'm going to be using the rear telly pickup back here, the real P90 back here. Go to the neck position for more of a bluesy thing. Then of course all the way back with so that kind of gives you the gamut, you know, and I've got Les Pauls and Explorers and 335s, but there have been a ton of videos done with those. I just wanted to show what your typical average guitar player could do with the Evans, because it's not just an amp for pedal steel players, or not just an amp for jazz guitar players. Your common guy who goes out and plays the clubs and has to do the country and country rock thing can hit it with his pedal board, and the Evans will sound great. I couldn't be happier with the Evans preamp. It's clean, it does exactly what I need it to do, it translates the guitar tones well, and some of the other users, gosh, Hans Keller, who's a phenomenal steel player, great guitar player, amazing guitar player. And my name is actually on the list right between Niles Lofgren, who, you know, is the guy who wasn't in The Sopranos from Bruce Springsteen's band, and I think Nels has been with in Crazy Horse with Neil Young, and then J.D. Maness, the pedal steel player from Desert Rose and several other groups, I'm right between them, and there's, you know, no comparison. I should not be in between such phenomenal players like that, but I'm glad that my name falls where it does in the alphabet. Anyway, before the video's over, I want to take and give you more of a close-up look at the preamp itself. Let's set that down right here, and try not to give you some motion sickness from the camera, but we're going to pick it up and we're going to go over, and hopefully the light's enough to catch it so that I can get in and give you just a look-see across the preamp. There's your volume. See if I can zoom it in here a little bit. Your treble, your expanding body, your depth, your bass, of course your right and your left. There's that ever-present mute switch I was talking about earlier, and of course your phone jack. And then we're going to back it up, and we're going to put the camera back down. But my name's been Brian Lowe, and I'm glad you've spent this time with me learning a little bit about the Evans. And make sure to go visit Evans on the web, and I will put the web address at the end of the video. Thanks a lot for watching, and enjoy picking.
Two.